Yo.
Yo.
Hello, world.
Hi.
Okay, we are live. We wanted to talk to you guys today. We had a request. So here we are. We're going to talk to you about what you need to do to come to the Philippines. Like what you need to consider and for your planning and everything. So we are going to break it down of what we did. And if you want a different video, this is us before we left Philippines. No. This is us. We're here. We're in Philippines. So we can tell you what you need to do to move to the Philippines. But if you're looking for a video for the planning before we came, you can go find that in one of our videos in the back. It's like the complete planning of us moving to the Philippines. And it was before we even flew. So here we are.
No intro, nothing like that, nothing.
I'm Davina.
I'm Hobart.
This is my husband, my asawa. And we moved to the Philippines over 90 days ago.
Yeah.
Is that what we decided?
91 days today. So 91 days today, we got to Philippines, and then this has been we've been in the process of moving to the Philippines for, I don't know, 2-3 years before that. So it's good, but everything fell into place for us. Perfectly. Everything fell into place for us perfectly. After military retirement, we kind of grinded. After we grinded, we got here, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Now we're here. And so while we're here, we are just enjoying life. We have 2 kids, 8 and a 9-year-old. My son just turned 8. And so they're about 15 months apart.
And our kids are in the public school.
They are in the public school, and it's beautiful. They are enjoying the public school. They're learning the culture. They are learning the language. They have a teacher that comes over to our house and tutors them and teaches them about the language. It's amazing how we are able to go on bike rides every evening. We are able to go to visit all kinds of places in Philippines, places that I've never been to when I was younger. And I am happy to give them that opportunity
for us to give them that opportunity. For sure, yeah.
And then since moving here, I think our life, our mental health has been a lot better. I think it's less stressful, right? I think it's way less stressful than what used to be in the United States. The things that we cared about in the U.S.
They don't care
about them here. Not anymore. We're like, what? Why were we even stressed about what somebody thought? Why were you even stressed about whatever it is?
It's I've got this stain on my shirt. Apparently, I washed my shirt and got a stain, but I don't care.
People here, hey, they don't care. You wake up in the morning, you have to do your hair and things like that. These expectations in the United States, where you have to have the best shoes, have to have the best clothing, have to have the best things.
You spend so much money on
it's not that important here. It's like, man, you know what what kids value is man, look, you can be having the brand new shoe or whatever, but if you're dumb as hell, they'll tell you that in school. They'll tell you that in school.
You
need to study. You need to brush your teeth. Hey, you need to go brush your teeth. So, and the thing is, they are real here. Don't even get me started on the food. Okay, they have all the stuff that could possibly want here: burgers, chicken. You got the spaghetti, fried rice. You got Asian food.
There's good food here everywhere.
But the thing is, if you want fresh,
gotta go to the market and make it yourself. Yeah.
Meat,
you
fresh everything, right?
The wet market, or
you gotta go to the market. It's not.
Well, he doesn't call it wet market. But
it's not. Yeah, it's not.
He doesn't like it.
So wet market comes from the term it's not. It's just the market. So what people consider it, right? It's not it's not the department store where everything is perfect. No, this is an outdoor farmers market where you get to see, right? And this is the market, and you get to see hey, when was these eggs laid? Oh, it was just egg laid last night. Oh, okay, all right, sounds good. What size do you want? They're like, okay. You look at the fruits; it's not frozen, right? You can still see some of the dirt, that they pulled with the carrots, and it's just fresh. Okay, fresh. None of the stuff that you buy at the market is frozen at all in any way, shape, or form, unless you want it frozen. Okay, coconut, go get a coconut. You want like coconut milk? Guess what? They'll make it fresh. It's not that difficult. It's not that simple. I mean, it's not that hard to get fresh things here in
I
Philippines.
actually feel like I'm in a video game on Zelda. You know, the Breath of the Wild or
There we
the
go.
Tears of the Kingdom. Like, we go to the market and I'm like buying the stuff from the market. Yeah, it's like that.
I thought you said that you were like Belle in Beauty and the Beast because you can
I
go to the
am
market
like Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
buy bread or
There
talk
goes
about.
the baker with his tray, like always.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. There's nice.
Wow, you're fitting in with the Filipinos with that, with them vocals, girl. What's
Oh,
going
thank
on
you,
here?
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
What else?
lots of
What else? What else?
karaoke.
Give us a little bit more. Give us.
So, well, I wanted to go into
Oh, you're just gonna gloss over that. Okay.
into
all
the
right.
planning process of the Philippines.
Oh yeah, that's right. So every time we come on here, we're supposed to have a topic, and our topic today, right, request is basically what you need to do to prepare for Philippines. Okay?
Yeah. So, like, you're not here yet, and you want to know what you need to do.
If you're a passport bro, well, you
Get
gotta
your
start with a passport.
Get your passport.
You gotta start with a passport. Okay, so number one, right? Let's just say you've decided this is what you're gonna do. This is an adventure that you're planning to do. Depends on what you have. If you're just gonna be a passport bro, then you just need a passport. Right? Hey, there you go. All right, let's do the balloons. Let's do the balloons. Let's do the balloons. Does the balloons work? Balloons don't work. The balloons don't work. Hey, there you go. The balloons work. So that's awesome. We're learning as we go. I wonder what else it does. But
I think it does thumbs down.
a thumbs up. No, we don't want a
No,
thumbs
we
down.
don't want that one.
So you start with a passport, right? Well, it's irrelevant to plan anything else before that if your mode of getting there is not ready. So the first course of action that I would encourage anybody who's planning to go to a different country, to go to Philippines, is get a passport. Now that varies and that depends. Are you going to be a dual citizen? Are you married to someone who is a Filipino citizen? Then that differs,
You
and there
gotta
are
do
other
that.
steps that you need to do.
It's better to do all your stuff in the States than it is to do it here. Here you're going to run into a lot of headaches with trying to deal with the Philippine. Just the way the administration, how they do things is not the same from office to office. So it can vary on what's required, but also it's like the biggest headache. And the reason is because you're going to be waiting in long lines. You're going to be uncomfortable. There's a barrier in the language. So even though they speak English, there's still communication barriers.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I get frustrated sometimes with these kinds of processes. So I feel like in the States, when I had if I had more time and things weren't like important, like I didn't have to get these things done like next month. I had a whole year to plan on getting my documentation. So it's just like less pressure. We could go to the consulate in LA, or we could drive up to San Francisco, and because we would try to be walk-ins, right? And so you couldn't be a walk-in in LA, so you make an appointment. And so, but the thing is like after you're done with it, like you can go have lunch and you can kind of manage your day. Here, it's just like super chaos and no organization. So don't try to do your stuff here. Don't.
And so let me just give you some perspective, all right, as to why you wouldn't want to do some of the things here. When Dee talks about the administration, she's talking about like how they process stuff here. Example number one, we bought a motorcycle, right? Motorcycle is registered. Motorcycle is, is already paid off, paid for. The motorcycle has been in our possession for about 60 days now, about 65, 70 days, 75 days. No, maybe more than that, about 80 days.
We bought it on the third day we got here.
We bought it on third day. So today's 91 days, so about 88 days. Well, guess what? We still don't have the license plate. What? Why?
Why don't we have the license plate?
Why don't we have the license plate, right? It's the process and procedure on how they conduct business here in Philippines. Maybe there's a license plate shortage for motorcycles. Maybe
They lost the
they lost
paperwork.
the paperwork. No, we have the paperwork. Our
No,
vehicle
but
is registered.
what I'm saying is like maybe they can't find our address.
Yeah.
Like
No, it
maybe
gets sent directly to the dealership, right?
Mm.
So whatever is the hiccup in the process, whether it's the plates for the license plate, or the process on how to get the license plate from the manufacturer all the way to the dealership, or maybe the mail from there to there, we still don't have the license plate, and it is over 85 days.
Not only
80
that,
days
like
later,
he went to go get a Philippine ID,
That's-
and he had the retinal scan, and they did all this stuff. This was in the first week when we were trying to figure things out on how to get an ID, and we're not going to see this ID for a year.
Mhm.
So it's just it. Don't do any of your documentation here in the Philippines. Do it all in the States. That's the best advice I could give.
That's great. That's great insight right there. So those are the two examples right there, right? Because hey, there's the balloons again. I'm still waiting on the ID. I'm still waiting on those things to come through, and so if you are going to get things done in the do them in your home country, because you can go to the embassy, you can send them there, and then it'll just be expedited. You can expedite sending documentations to the embassy, and the embassy can expedite those information that you're requesting for in the United States. But here in Philippines, if it's like you have to go there, and it can take days, it can take weeks, depending on who you're talking to. Sometimes there's policies that's already in place, but that organization has not implemented that policy, right, in a long time, that they'll just tell you to shoo off, and they're going to say, nope, we don't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
We don't do that.
We don't do that here. And so, and I have an example of that. I have been trying to get my the electric bill, who is under my father's name. He's been deceased for over 10 years, and I've been trying to change it to my name, right? So they have all these requirements. You have to get an affidavit, you have to get an attorney's memo, you have to get the barangay captain to sign, you have to get a cedula indicating that you live in the address that you live in, you have to get the death certificate, and then they're requesting for, tax identification number, and they're all, I'm like, why
We're going
why
on
are you all these things?
wild
Right?
goose chase.
Like, what is the benefit
Just to
of this?
change
Right?
the
It's just to
name.
change the name. So, or I'm like, you know what? We're good. I don't. We're just gonna give up on that avenue. I don't need to change my father's name from the bill. Later on, you guys will probably think like, oh, after 100 years, they're still under the same name. We need to change
Can
this.
we fix this?
Okay, it's irrelevant at this, like at that point, right? Hopefully they'll change the process, but Philippines is not where it needs to be in order for it to catch up, right? In the documentation, technological wise, they have the technology. It's just that it's being implemented unevenly. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a little backwards too.
Yes, it
so
is.
like, for instance, their websites. If you go and try to do anything on the websites, which they just recently opened up, like being able to renew your visa online. Okay, this is like barely now.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that they have, like I've tried to get a record. Hi, Heidi. Hello, welcome.
Hey, Heidi, what's up?
So I've tried to get a record of our marriage that has been recorded. And I wanted to get a record while I was in the States before we moved here, because I have a solid address in the States and I wasn't sure about my address here. Well, I wasn't able to do it because when I went to the website, it was like they couldn't confirm or deny that it had been recorded, even though I had documentation showing that I had recorded it. And I was told by the window person, like, hey, wait 6 months before you apply. So then I went online to try and apply for it, but they didn't have any record of it because they won't do a record of it. All it is like you have to pay the money and hope that they already have it. And if they don't, well, then you just wasted your money.
All your money. There's no database online indicating that you have applied for it already. The database that they have is back of an office somewhere, and they have a filing for it. It's not scanned. It's nothing like that. So let's go back to the documentation, right? First, passport, and depending on what you want to be, whether you're going to be a part of a family, you're married to a Filipino, whether you're going to be a passport bro touring, a passport girl touring here in Philippines by yourself, you just need to get how to get here. Okay, now we are going to talk in terms of moving an entire family, because that's what we did.
We moved
right?
our family.
We want to state our experience, and not just be like, what if I'm a passport bro? No, we're going to talk about what was important to us and what we learned in the process. So after we got our passports and all that stuff, right? You got that in the United States.
First of all, I thought I was going to be able to get a 13 alpha while I was in the States, but that proved to be really hard to get. So we made the decision because we needed, okay, so first of all, you have to report your marriage, and then you need to get it back. It takes 6 months to request that thing. And since I wasn't going to be sure, and we were leaving in a month, we decided we'll get it here, and we'll try to do the 13 alpha here.
What's a 13 alpha?
It's a permanent residency, type of, it's so that I can stay here permanently and not have to renew every year, and pay all those fees.
Right.
So I still don't have, I'm still here on a Balikbayan visa, which is what I use because my husband is a returning Filipino. So there was that.
You're a passport bro?
No.
Oh.
I'm married to my husband.
Yeah.
But
that's what passport bros do.
Okay.
You're a passport girl.
Yes, I guess so. So
I brought my foreigner.
So we came from the Philippines, from America to the Philippines without the passport says. No, I'm not, guys. I hate that. I knew my husband well before.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him here. So
my foreigner.
Okay.
She makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so documentation, go ahead.
Yeah, so the documentation, you really want to get all the immigration stuff that you can done before you come, like report your kid's birth. The first thing they asked me when I got to the school was, are your kids' birth reported? And if they weren't, then my kids probably wouldn't be able to get in. They weren't going to validate the passports. Our passports from America weren't valid unless we reported their births here in the Philippines. And we got them Philippine passport. They were looking at their stuff, and it had to be Filipino. And if I didn't get it done before I came here, then I would have had to scramble to try and get that done here in the Philippines so I could get them into school.
Could you get it done here in Philippines?
Very hard.
Yes, but it would be very difficult. So we encourage you guys who are planning to come here to Philippines, and you're gonna have a kid that's a dual citizen, or they're gonna be holding a Filipino passport. We encourage you guys to go ahead and report their birth. I think report of birth happens first before they can get a passport anyways, right?
No, you can get, report of birth happens before, but you can get dual citizenship before you report the birth.
Right.
Because you put the dual citizenship under the father.
Yes.
And so he can claim all his children.
Yes.
But if you get here and you haven't done all that, you're still going to need all the documentation that you would have to report the birth when you were in the States. You're going to need that here.
Yes.
So then if you didn't come prepared with all that paperwork, then you're going to be reaching out to the US or wherever you're from to try and get them to mail it to you here so that you can have all your documents so that you can file.
Yeah. So step 1, get a passport. Step 2, right? Figure out what type of visa you're going to be here, whether it's going to be a Balikbayan visa, or you're going to be a 13A, right? And how we rectified that issue with her. Does she need to be a resident of the United States in order for her to live here? No, because she can stay here for 1 year, and then with us, and then we go back, right? Go somewhere, and then that Balikbayan visa starts over again. Okay. Mm-hmm. So get the visa. After you figure out what type of visa, then you send in the documentation, whether it's going to be report of birth for your kids, or report of marriage, or attaining different passports. Right. So those things are very important and very, very, very critical. Once you have all of those things in place, Then you want to get your finances, right? You want your finances. And in order for you to do that, you can do one or two things, right?
And hello to Money Printer.
Yeah.
Finances.
So Annie A, Heidi, Money Printer, thank you.
Hello, everyone, for joining us.
So we're talking about how to get ready for Philippines. So I lost my train of thought.
Finances.
Okay, well now let's talk about finances, right? Depending on the longevity that you're going to be here in Philippines. Let's say you're going to plan to stay here for a year, right? Balikbayan visa, perfect. All right, let's just say you're going to be here for a tourist, right? It's like 30-day visa, 90-day visa, whatever it is. You're going to have to pay that on a monthly or every time you report. You extend your visa.
You have to pay a fee,
which is fine. It's not that expensive. It's fairly cheap. You can figure that out over here once you become a passport bro or a passport sister. So, but if you really want to prepare and you're planning to move your entire family here, let's just say you want to be here for 1 year to 5 years. Okay, now it gets a little tricky. I think that the best thing that you can do, right? Because if you plan to move your entire family and you don't have like a family home or whatever, is come to Philippines. Come to Philippines, come here for 1 month. Visit all the places that you want to visit. Look at the places that you want to settle down. Why is that important?
Well, first you need to figure out if you want to live in the city or if you want to live in the province, because the city has a lot to offer, especially if you have children. It's got like after school activities. It's got really nice gyms, great stores, good food, right? The city is very expensive. And so if you're looking for like more peaceful, laid back living, slow lifestyle, like the kids learning the language, you're more likely to have that experience in the province. And the reason is, well, they teach in English at the school.
For 4th to 6th grade.
4th to 6th grade is English. So the kids are learning English as they're going to school. It's not like it's in another language. So.
But 1st to 3rd grade, they're doing mother tongue, which is the language in your area.
Yeah.
Right. And
so you want to look at the amenities and like what kind of lifestyle you want to live. For us, like we were down to live in the country, but only if we had internet. So that was like a big, like, it was kind of like we were in limbo. Like if we didn't get internet, we weren't going to stay here.
Yeah. So for all of you gamers out there, right, that like to goo it up, either on Xbox or, PlayStation 5, or you're just geeking out in the chat rooms, whatever it is, you need Wi-Fi internet. This is some comparable stuff here that you can understand. Okay, so we had internet in the United States and we were paying about $75, and it was 100 megabytes per second download speed and 10 megabytes per second upload speed. That is very slow. Compare that to what we have now. It is 500 gigabytes download speed and 500 gigabytes upload speed.
Yeah.
So
but it did take us a long time to get the internet. Like it was a struggle just to kind of like, we go to the office and we're like asking them to like come over and check out our internet. And then like we waited 2 weeks and like, so yeah, it's not like it's a fast process,
Yeah. And so, it's amazing how technology is so advanced here compared to the US as far as like internet speeds. But at the same time, some of the process and procedures that they have in place in some of the offices, like buildings, like utility bills and things like that, is so far back. You're like, what is going on here? It is crazy. Okay. So I said, 1, come here and visit, and then figure out where you want to go. Once you have come here and visited the places where you want to go and you have relatives here in Philippines, then you know what? You can be like, hey, you know what? I want that plot of land and I want to be able to buy that land right there. If you're married to a Filipina, put the property under her name, and then, start building on the home. It is important, right, that you have a place to stay when you get here, especially when you have family. We have a family home, right? So many Filipinos have a family home, but sometimes the family home is not vacant. Our family home was vacant, right? Nobody's been here for like the last, I don't know, since I was 11, right? Nobody's lived here long term for more
I
than
know
2 months.
you would have family that would pop in from
Oh
year to
yeah, yeah.
year,
We
you
would
know, like
we would have some Canadians coming over here live in
yeah,
this space, and then so we would just we there was family here, but they wouldn't stay here long term, right? Between 4 to 4 months was probably the max. Okay, so
mm,
get that established. And if you have the place where to go already, that's good. Another option is to get an apartment, right? But the thing is, it all boils down to if you're bringing your entire family, did you want them to go in the province or did you want to go in the city? And
mm,
Dee covered that already. So that's
yeah,
the first the first thing that you can do. And then number two is and the reason why let me go back real quick. The reason why that's important is because um, money is finite, right? You don't have an infinite amount of money coming in. And usually when you come here, you're working off of a pension or you're working off of a monthly stipend that you've set in place for yourself. You're working off of savings or whatever it may be. It's finite, right? It's not infinite that you'll have that resource. So the more you want, the more you can set yourself up to
before
pay
you
for,
get
before you
here,
get here,
yeah,
to pay some of these large bills that you can possibly purchase, like a house,
yeah. If you can
buying the
buy
land.
property before you come here and build your house before you come, fantastic.
Fantastic. And then all you have to do, it can still be empty, you know what I mean? But still have like the stuff already, meaning like the structure, has the walls, has the windows, has the doors, right?
Mm,
It doesn't need to have AC unit,
yeah,
it has the roof. It doesn't have to need the AC unit because an AC unit can be installed in 1 week.
yeah,
As long as there's running water inside there, there's plumbing, you can run electricity. When you move in, everything's quick. I mean, you go to a department store and they will come the following week to install an AC unit.
yeah.
Perfect.
Windows installed quick.
Window install pretty quick. Internet service again, between 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
They lost their paperwork. That's a different topic. All right.
But what I'm saying is, I think what we're saying is, when you have the earning power of the United States, that's when you want to do like your most planning and your most spending.
Correct.
Because once you get here, like your income is cut like drastically.
Yeah.
So then you are looking at money being finite because there's no like steady stream, or there's no real way to like make more, you know?
Mhm.
And so you're kind of like on a fixed income once you get here. So the more you can do to pre-plan before you come, as far as like your spending wise, like putting money into a house or a property, maybe buying a vehicle when you come, like all kinds of stuff. Like you got to try and get those things done so you can start paying them off while you're still making a lot of money in the States.
That is absolutely true. Okay, so that's number one. It's just all preparation. Number two, right? I said you can do one or two things. The second one is save. And that's exactly what we did. We saved a lot of money before we getting here. We had multiple jobs at the same time. We were working damn near 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just so that way we can save, and so we can have the freedom that we have now. Okay, so those are two things, one or the other. Luckily for me, right, for us, we have a family home to fall back on, and so we don't have a rent, we don't have any mortgage, and our bill or just utilities right now, we're living off of what, $600 a month.
Yeah, $600 a month.
$600 a month.
We're living
right?
off of comfortably.
Comfortably, very comfortably.
And I know there's people on the internet are going to say like, "What? That's crazy," right? But we're not talking about. That's like just the baseline. We're not talking about us going to SM Mall and loading up on whatever. We're not talking about SNR and like meeting our Western needs. If we are looking at our like basic budget of what we spend, and because we could literally live without all those other things, right? Hi, Mike Ross.
Hi, Mike Ross.
Glad you caught the live. And so basically, it's like $600 is what we spend on a month paying our bills. Electricity, AC running.
Yeah, $600. That's with 7 AC units. Now they're not all on at the same time. We can probably have 4 or 5 on simultaneously because we're all in separate
Yeah,
rooms.
doesn't include our car, which
Doesn't have
we
include, yeah.
bought a brand new car when we got here.
Mhm.
Our car note is $700 a month, and
Yeah.
that so it doesn't include that,
Yeah.
right?
And so, you know, if you have a car note, then you multiply that, but still 1,200 for with an SUV. Like, come on. So the 600 that we're talking about, that includes water bill, electric bill. We're talking about fuel costs. That's
Food.
the fuel, food every day, right? Every day food. And so it anything else? Oh, internet service, right? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. But
That's pretty much it. Like the
That's our very
basic
basic
stuff,
stuff.
baseline.
Yeah, because education's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walk because our kids go to public school. We walk them to school, and so $600 is a lot of money. And I just
he's saying $600 is a lot of money in Philippines.
In Philippines, right?
When you switch over the Philippine peso, the US dollar to Philippine peso.
Yeah. And so just to give you some stuff in perspective, the minimum wage here in Philippines is 350 peso in the province. A day. That's an entire 8-hour to 10-hour work day.
Yeah, and what is that, like $6 or something?
Yeah, that's about $6.
It's $6 a day,
right?
You know, the teacher. We talked to different teachers, and they told us that their salary is for starting is like $500 a month.
Yeah, $500.
And
$500 a month.
USD. The master teacher, like the teachers who make a little bit more, they make about $600 a month.
Yeah,
I think we talked to a pharmacist, and she makes about $400 a month, and she felt like her paycheck was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. So
she's very proud of her paycheck.
What we're talking about, $350, 350 peso a day, it's a lot of money in Philippines.
Well, actually, so the laborers, the guys who work on the construction, a laborer makes about 500 peso a day.
400.
400 peso a day,
yeah.
And then the skilled worker makes about 500 to 600 peso a day.
Yeah, depending on where you're at, depending on you're located, depending on how much you're getting billed for. But yeah, the minimum wage is 350.
Yeah.
Now, those are the ones that have jobs, right? A lot of the culture that live in the province, they just, you know, they might not have an occupation, or they work in a farm, and that's how they make their money. That's how they make a living.
And you'll see people are like, you know, selling things on the side of the road to try and make like pesos. You know, like they're trying to make 50 pesos, maybe 150 pesos in a day. And I mean, that's what they're living off of, like $3 to $4, $5 a day is what they're living off of. So for us, like to spend 600 peso or $600 US dollars on our basic like living needs, and we're not even like splurging or anything. We're just kind of like living. And we live very comfortably, but we don't have rent.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. We did all of our spending. We bought an SUV. We bought the big fridge. We bought the washer. We bought the dryer. You know, we're in the process of buying like new beds. We're in the process of, you know, we bought the new windows. We bought the new, you know, like replaced new doors, did all these things. We did our large purchases
at the beginning,
well,
which over 12K
which
US.
Is what you need that fund, right, to establish yourself.
Yeah,
right?
we had a huge startup fund like that we had to spend.
Right. And you know, we weren't expecting it that much.
No,
right? Because it was like it was construction in the house, right? What do you do as a guy? It's like your duty, and at least my duty and my responsibility was safety, security, right? Make sure that the environment is positive for learning for my kids, and
thriving,
happy wife, happy life, right? So guess what?
AC was the first thing we
put in, right? So AC was number one. Window was first, then the AC units. After those things were established,
then we tackled the termite situation.
The termite situation. We had to kind of like seal up the entire house, replace all
roof.
the wooden things. Used to be wood, now it's like insulated with metal, and so it's really good. Those are the things that were a priority to me. But if you already move in, like if you move into an apartment, or you move in a city, that's not necessarily needed.
No.
Okay.
But you will need first month's and last month's rent. I think you need like at least you need some money to move into a place, but it's not very expensive. We toured a house, and if you want to see the house, you can go look at the video. But it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, beautiful big home. Was it 2-bedroom, or was it 3-bedroom?
2-bedroom.
3-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
2-bedroom. So it's a big home, and it's open air, like it's very big and airy. And that place was renting for $200 a month.
Yeah, but they had studios for $4,500, which was $80 a month.
So $80 for a studio, and that's for like one person or two people.
And they had
max,
they had beds in there. They had bunk beds. They had bunk beds. They also had AC unit already in place. They had a dirty kitchen.
Yeah.
But still, $80 a month. Like if you
is very inexpensive.
If you are a passport sister,
why you gotta be a passport sister?
If you're a passport sister and you come here by yourself, looking for your passport boo, $80 a month for an entire apartment. If you really want to live frugally, yeah, you could manage to do that. But I would not encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to have some seed fund, right? Our seed fund, we had a little bit of seed fund, which we utilized at the beginning, but now we are sitting comfortably.
Yeah, okay. Your startup. And it feels good to not spend anymore. Like when we first got here, I felt like the spending was just way over, too much. And I also felt like we needed to change our mindset on how we, spent money, because I was like, whoa, we're going way too fast, and we're gonna find ourselves in trouble. And so I just didn't feel really comfortable with the big startup that we had to spend. But it's true. Startup is like, you gotta have a startup, like a big cushion for when you're coming to the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something that I forgot to mention. So if you're a passport sis, like in her 30s, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't need to live by a hospital. But if you're a passport bro that's like 65, homie, you might want to live by a hospital, okay? You're going to need the comfort of like driving around in a car, all right? So these are the things that you might want to think of before coming out here to Philippines. I'm just keeping it real, okay?
Yeah.
Because you need these things. Like we have a car, we have an SUV now. But do we ride it every day? No, we walk everywhere. We walk to the market, just like Beauty and the Beast, you know what I mean? Like going and buying things like, oh, I need this, I need that. We walk our kids to school. We go and all that stuff, right? So
I think I also want to say, like, I think that if you can go get a motorcycle license, get one before you come here, so that way you have the experience of driving motorcycles.
Yeah.
Because motorcycles is the vehicle to have. Like if I'm picking between all the vehicles, motorcycle all the way. And the only reason is because they can go zip, zip, zip through all the traffic. You can get on sidewalks, like you can drive like a crazy person here. And so motorcycles.
You drive like a crazy person.
People drive like
motorcycle?
Yes.
Who that drives crazy?
Motorcycles. We're running out of time though.
Oh my goodness, we're running out of time. Okay.
I want to give people like the info, but some people ask some questions in the chat. Is it okay? I know we have so much information to give you on this. We might have to put it into like a series. But okay, so some people asked, do you still have to pay taxes in the US when you permanently live there? Yes. Okay. So so first of all, taxes, you have to do your taxes in the States if you have a W-2. If you make over a certain amount of money, I think it's like over $12,000 a year annually, you do want to file your taxes in the States. You don't have to pay state taxes if you're not working or living in California.
Yeah, because there's a federal tax and a state tax. Yeah.
But your federal taxes, you do have to pay. One thing that we did is we set up our CPA. So we have a CPA, a certified I don't know, accountant, personal accountant.
Mhm.
And so they do our taxes for us. And what was great is she knew all the ins and outs of when you move to another country, like what paperwork to file. She knows the laws, and so it might be a good idea to get like a really experienced tax person.
Yes.
And like, let's say you pay taxes if you don't have a W 2 or a 1099, because sometimes you're going to be making money over here and you're going to need to pay your taxes to the United States. And the 1099 has your social security number attached to it. So they're going to be looking for you if you need to owe taxes, like if you owe taxes. Now, we don't have to pay taxes in the Philippines because we don't have a business here, and we're
But
not
we
making
are paying
money here.
taxes in everything that we purchase.
Oh yeah.
So even electric bills tax, water
Mhm.
bills tax, anything we purchase is taxed, just like anything else in the United States is taxed. The only thing that's not taxed is if you buy something from the market and it's cash.
Right.
That's not taxed.
Right.
And for the most part, Philippines is still a cash society.
Oh yes.
So
Big
cash
time.
society. So now let's move on to finances, maybe, or like how to access your finances. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
is very important. Like depending again, if you're a passport sis, passport bro, you're only gonna be here for 2 weeks or 1 month, just like Heidi. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not gonna need all the finances and stuff like that. But if you're like Annie, right, and you are planning to or Amy, and you're planning to live here for long term, you're gonna need a bank account, right? A lot of people say, well, tell everybody why you don't need a
So
bank account.
first of all, one of the most important bank accounts to have is going to be the Charles Schwab account. If you can get Charles Schwab while you're in the United States, which you have to do while you're there, you can't get Charles Schwab. He's trying to thumbs it up.
I'm trying to
but I don't
thumbs it
know.
up. It's not working.
No, it's
It's not
okay. Hit the
working.
thumbs up button, guys. We got lots of people in here today. Okay, so Charles Schwab is the way to go. You have to open your account when you're in the United States. And then he's saying you should get a Philippine bank account.
No, but you should say why you don't need. So this is for all the
So-
passport sisters
Okay,
and the
so
passport
like,
bros.
in my opinion, I feel like you don't need a Philippine bank account to live here comfortably, because there's GCash, which is like you can pay your bills with GCash. You can pay at the register with GCash. So you don't need a Philippine bank account to be okay and successful here. Like if you can move $1,000, because that's all you need to buy a motorcycle. But if you're trying to do bigger purchases, then you might need a Philippine bank account.
Hey, and here we go,
his
right?
thing where you
So
can-
one of the smartest thing that we did was basically go to a Philippine National Bank. We could have gone to BDO too, but Philippine National Bank. And what they did was they opened up a bank account for me, right? And they opened up a bank account for her. This passport sister got a bank account opened up in Philippines through the Philippine National Bank
while we were in America.
Now, granted, it took like probably 6 months to get our
Mhm.
debit card. Nonetheless, it's great because with the Philippine National Bank account, they have a mobile application app. And the mobile application app saves a ton of time, right? And this is
Yeah.
we barely 60 days into it, we started using the application on the app, but we were dumb. I was dumb. I was like, I would get the bill. I would get the bill, and I would be like, "Hey, uncle, where can I pay this water bill?" Right? And they're like, "Oh, just go downtown. Ask the person over here." So here I am. It took all day. I had to ask the person in a corner right beside the acacia tree. You know what I mean? With the dog barking and all that stuff. And then finally I went in there. When I finally got to the building, it was a 2 to 3 hour line. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. When I got to the front of the line, the lady says, you can use the application. Please take this. So now we pay our bill through the application, and we can do that with the Philippine National Bank account. Okay.
But
so
I always say you can use that with GCash too.
that's true. That's true. But for convenience, already I have it. So electric bill, our water bill, our internet bill, right? All are being paid through the Philippine National Bank application, right?
Mhm.
So if you have that in place, great,
I will tell
amazing.
you, being in the Philippine National Bank here in the Philippines it takes up your whole day. It's a very
Oh, to go to the bank account, yeah.
It's a very excruciating experience. I wish it upon my enemies. That's how bad it is. Like, don't the Philippine bank is not a fun thing.
So yeah, when you go to anywhere, any business anywhere, electric, water, bank, it's gonna take you hours to get to the front of the line. But if you have the application or you bank with someone that has an application and it's intuitive, it's very helpful, like Philippine National Bank, do it. How have we used have I used the Philippine National Bank in different transactions? Of course, right? You can't buy like AC unit, right? We bought at one point, I bought 4 AC units, right? Which equate to like 37,000, 47,000 peso. I'm not going to go to an ATM and pull out 10,000 each time. That's just ludicrous. You know what I mean? And even though it'll allow me, that's just taking too much time. So how I have completed transactions is I ask for their account number and I ask for the account name, and I ask for the total, and immediately they get the cash right there and then. If it's less than $50,000, right? Philippine National, 50,000 peso. The Philippine National Bank will actually send the money immediately, and it's 20 peso transaction fee. If it's more than 50,000, less than 100,000, then they'll send the cash the following business day, right? So you can't, and it's still 20 peso. I would rather pay 20 peso than wait in a 2-3 hour line at a bank, right? And we've done that. Another way we have transacted, right, is just not at the department store AC unit. Hey, there it is finally. Is also hardware store. So we've been doing construction at the house. I've been purchasing all kinds of stuff, right? Deformed bars are very expensive. Cement is very expensive. All like phenolic boards, coconut, whatever it is, right? I just asked for the account name, account number, the where they bank to, and guess what? 45K. There you go. They get it in their bank immediately. So the third large transaction that we had to do was purchasing motorcycle and a car, but that was all done through Philippine National Bank. So for me, if you are planning to stay in Philippines long term, it is important that you already have a bank in place you can go to and be like, hey, I need a manager's check for this amount, right? Because the manager's check is that they'll already pull out of your bank account.
It's like a cashier's
check basically.
It's called,
and then you take it to the other bank, and then you deposit it in their bank account, or you take it to the dealership and then they'll deposit it for you. That's why you would need a bank for large amount of transactions. I'm talking about large amount of transactions in terms of US, but not large amount in Filipino terms.
Right. And then the other thing is like, do wire transfers. Don't do Remitly. Remitly is the biggest waste of your money. Wire transfers, figure that piece out. Like, it's worth it to figure it out.
Yes. So
and you save way more by doing a wire transfer.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
We are running out of time
because we got to go pick up our kids.
But I'm going to take a quick picture of all the questions so I don't lose them, and then we can next time we do. Oh, okay. Another live. We will answer your guys' questions.
Okay. Well,
and this is an ongoing one, so I'll keep naming it the same thing, and we'll keep coming back and having this topic because it is people have been reaching out to us and asking us like in our emails like how to do things. So
yeah. All right, guys. Well, carpe diem.
Seize the day, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, hold on.